What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. We gotta just dive right into one of our main topics this week, and the main of the topics that on Friday there was a massacre of NXT. I really truly believe that this is the end of the NXT as we know it.
Yeah, it's been said.
I really think that before those releases, but I was like, now they just gutted this thing. They opened the door and just took a shotgun, shot it right in his chest, and it's like barely breathing. It's about to, all you gotta do is just like, just close your eyes and it'll be over soon. Because right now NXT is in shambles. They released 13 names from NXT on Friday during Friday Night Smackdown.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go over the names. Here's the full list of names that WWE released: Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, Jake Atlas, Eric Sterling, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Stephen Smith, Tyler Russ, Zachariah Smith, Asher Hale, Giant Zengier, and Mercedes Martinez. And just added on Saturday, Denzel Dejournette.
Mm-hmm.
They released all these stars on SmackDown. Everybody was sitting there wondering, like, yo, really, what the hell is going on? Bronson Reed was just North American champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get into some of the big names in a minute. So, but then Prime comes to me and tells me, yo, did you see the reasoning, though? And I was just like, no, I did not see what the reasoning was, or what they were saying that the reasoning was. But apparently, I had to pull up the list first before I could go to the reasoning, but I will pull that up. Because Vince McMahon, obviously, you know what's funny? I like how he don't look at AEW as a threat, but the moves he makes shows me that he looks at it as a threat.
Did you hear the joke? He was like, we should get them more talent.
Yeah.
But he's actually giving them more talent.
Uh-huh.
Like, he was making a joke, but he's legit giving them more talent.
Exactly. Now, I'm not sitting there saying everybody's going to go to AEW, but still. It was said that Dave Meltzer said from the Wrestling Observer Radio. Now, once again, I get this from CraigSideSeats.com, so you can take all this with a grain of salt, which it does tell you to do anyway. It says Dave Meltzer said Triple H and Shawn Michaels didn't have anything to do with the recent NXT releases, and it was all Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, and John Laurinaitis. That, it's not that hard to believe. It said further.
Bronson, you're fired.
Further, it said he said they felt the wrestlers in NXT were too small and/or too old, and they're looking to change that moving forward, likely to match the original version of NXT, which was a true developmental promotion. We
went from third brand to almost winning the Survivor Series to developmental.
Back to developmental.
That's oh man.
You know what? This to me sounds like jealous old man written all over it.
Mm.
In my personal opinion. Now first, I'm gonna get to these releases here. So obviously, I don't know. There are some like referees stuff like that on this list. I don't know all the lists, but the first that comes to my mind is Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, who was already being groomed to be on the main roster, he was having main event matches, dark matches on Raw, SmackDown, and there was reports saying that the reason why Bronson Reed and Dakota Kai, the NXT people, were having dark matches because so they could see them work. And I was like, see them work? So that automatically shows me tells me you don't watch NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would have seen Bronson Reed work. You would have seen Dakota Kai work. You would have seen how effort, good, great matches that these people actually had. Now, Bronson Reed came out and said, "Look, this was a surprise to me, and I was upset, and I don't blame him for being upset. He was a big man that could go, and I was like, so he was almost groomed to be on that main roster. I would have loved to see that." But he was just North American champion. He just lost it, and he just had a killer main event with Adam Cole. And I was sitting there thinking,
he had a quick reign as well, which most people thought he was getting called up.
Exactly, because Swerve took the belt.
Yeah, his reign was like what, a month?
Yeah,
2 months. Yeah, that was kind of quick.
It almost felt like the Keith Lee world title and with that double champion run.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they gave him a month. It was like, okay, well, y'all give him a month. Because y'all most likely gonna call Keith Lee to the main roster, which they did. Which, even still, I'm like, bro, your job is not safe neither.
Keith Lee will be all right.
I'm sorry. After this, ain't nobody.
No, I'm saying he'll be all right. If he get fired, he'll be all right.
Oh, he'll be all right if he gets fired.
I'm not worried. Yeah, I ain't worried about Keith Lee. He's gonna be good either way.
Now, Bobby Fish. Here's the thing about Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish is older. Bobby Fish is like 44 years old. 43.
Yeah, no. Bobby Fish makes sense, but I don't think it's like those type of releases don't make sense because they can be good trainers. Like Bobby Fish and Mercedes can be amazing trainers. I don't know why you don't keep those type of people around, especially if you want to have a quote unquote developmental. Like Bobby Fish is somebody you would want to learn from. Exactly,
I would agree, because also Bobby Fish's time in the Undisputed Era. First of all, Bobby Fish, when he came to WWE, even in the NXT role, I was just like, this man is not winning no championships here other than maybe tag team, because he's with the Undisputed Era. And I was like, I'm cool with that, but like when it comes to North American champion or NXT champion or World Heavyweight champion, that wasn't going to happen. And if he made it to the main roster, it would have only been because of the Undisputed Era. Bobby Fish, it was like, even in Ring of Honor, I was just like, yeah, he's that workhorse guy, but he don't fit the championship bill to me all the time.
It's just him and Colorado just had a great tag team chemistry that I wouldn't have broke up. So I would have definitely kept them as the team.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And so now,
as a tag team, I can see them winning championships all over the world. But as a singles guy, sometimes it don't. Like, he's still a good singles wrestler, don't get me wrong, but as far as WWE go, I didn't see him getting singles gold more than I see him getting a bunch of tag team gold.
I agree with you. And he was very injury prone. Like, every time you turn around, Bobby Fish's injury was something else. I was like
45 years old.
Exactly. I mean, he's older, so I could understand this release. I can understand. I mean, it sucks.
It does, but I don't know why they don't just redo contracts. Like, say, yeah, we're gonna fire you as a active wrestler and bring you back as a trainer, stuff like that.
They can
rework it somehow.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Jake Atlas is I know people were saying that you gotta watch like Jake Atlas's PWG stuff to see a good match with Jake Atlas because he wasn't given opportunity too much in NXT. I haven't seen. He just came up on his 5th year wrestling period. Yeah. Well, okay, so he didn't give much of a chance, and that's one of the things that also hurts too. You release these people, but you didn't even give them a chance to show what they could offer, show what they could do. You just released them. Kona Reeves. Now, Kona Reeves, I haven't seen Kona Reeves since Keith Lee been there.
Yeah, since he got injured.
Yeah, I have not seen Kona Reeves, and honestly, I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan of Kona Reeves, but he did have charisma.
I won't say I wasn't the biggest fan of Kona Reeves either, but Kona Reeves fits the narrative of what they said they want to change NXT to. Kona Reeves wasn't a name outside of NXT. They kind of brought him in and trained him from the ground up, basically. And he's still kind of young. Like, I didn't see no, obviously value or anything from him. That's probably why they released him or whatever. But as far as them training somebody from the ground up that's under 30, is what they say they want to do. That's who Kona Reeves is, and they let him go. So, you know.
I mean, I get it.
Not everybody's going to be Bianca Belair to just not know nothing about wrestling and come in to be a star. Not everybody's going to be there.
Yeah, there's only like one LeBron in every class, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Leon Ruff was another one, which to me, the way that they're trying to make it seem like he would fit the new the NXT bill.
Yeah.
Like he would fit that. Tyler Rust. Before I get Tyler Rust. So Leon, he won the North American Championship off the surprise type thing, and had a triple threat match, and they actually built him up. Had that great rivalry with Swerve where Hit Row debuted, and I'm like, they had like a 1-2-3 kid storyline going on here, but then all of a sudden it just like dropped it off, and I was like, he don't have to be another champion again or North American Championship, but he could have been a nice role player or somebody to beat up on or to have a good opening match on, like if they would do Cruiserweight or something like that, why not? Especially if he just proposed to his wife, who's still a referee. I hope she still keeps her job. Tyler Rust, the funny thing about that is they just used him to start this Diamond Mine faction, and they cut him.
Yeah, I think 2 members are gone already.
Yeah, because I don't know who the Asian guy is who just sit there and don't say nothing.
Yeah, Tyler Rust and the other guy I think got fired. And I think it's only Roddy and Malcolm Bivens. I think.
I would keep first of all, Malcolm Bivens is good at what he does, but once again, you would never know that because Malcolm Bivens is rarely on TV. So y'all didn't even get this faction a chance. Did I like Dynamite? No, but I could have learned to like it, just like Hit Row. You gotta give it a chance to breathe, and they gave Dynamite nothing to do.
Yep.
Mercedes Martinez literally got knocked out and never came back.
She got knocked out of NXT.
Exactly. And I was like, and she had that whole thing where she was going to join Retribution as, was it Shatter? Or I don't know what it was.
It was, what was it? It probably was Shatter.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but then she said, "No, fuck this," and she went back to NXT to do Mercedes Martinez stuff and leave Retribution alone. And as you see, it was a complete failure. So she was having good stuff on there until she got knocked out by Xia Li. And I was like, but I agree with you. Her and Bobby Fish being the older guard, they could have been coaches. For both the men and women. So now the stuff I want to say is probably venting out of frustration because it truly can be something else. But the way I'm looking at it is, Vince McMahon is jealous out his mind. Because look, and I don't think since Vince don't look at NXT, he probably figured that look, we lost. He gets the numbers back and saying that we lost to AEW, and now it's drastic. They say, well, maybe that if it was Raw or SmackDown, it could have beat AEW, which I don't think it can. Not the way AEW is going right now.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, so NXT lost to AEW, and you going instead of giving us Adam Cole and people like that, you gonna give us these no names.
But here's the thing, though, when NXT they also gotta say something. When NXT moved to Tuesdays, right, the numbers went up.
I think when NXT moved in general, it was the beginning of the end.
Yes,
when they moved from the network, when they moved from the network to USA.
I would say that. But even when they moved off on Wednesdays onto Tuesdays, the numbers started going back up. And they were starting to have some nice... they're serious.
The numbers were starting to go up, and then the show quality just started to go down.
I mean, yeah, I agree, because Triple H exhausted like all his options when he was in there with going head to head with AEW. Come on, the man had the idea of a fatal 4-way Iron Man matchup. Right, that is clearly trying to go and out to do the competition so that they could watch your show. And I'm like, but also the people that was around for the Wednesday Night War, like live when it was actually happening, are adults now. They're in their 30s and 40s year old men. And honestly, when I was 11 years old, when the Wednesday Night War was going on, yeah, I love to sit in front of the TV and switch back and forth. Man, I don't like doing that today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be real with you. I don't like.
And plus it's easier. Like back then, if you missed it, you just kind of missed it. Now you can just go back and watch it over.
Exactly, because see, now since they have the network, which is shitty on Peacock, but they have the network, it's like, yo, I can watch AEW and I can catch NXT on the network. It's fine. It what back then it was like must see TV. It's like, yo, if you don't see Nitro or you don't see Raw or at this time, you're going to miss something, because they both was producing, especially in like '98, must see TV. Mm-hmm. Now NXT is not producing much CTV, and to be honest with you, AEW is not promoting must see TV. They're just performing different TV.
Yeah, and they have good moments, but not must see TV. Yeah. They try to have like a moment, a show. I think that's what they do. They try to be like, remember that AEW episode where so and so happened. I think that's kind of their goal, to leave you with the memory.
I can see that. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can respect that. So, but NXT was, it's Choice's baby. And Vince, of all people who probably don't even watch the show, say, I want to make it more developmental. See, the thing that comes to my mind is that 2011, 12 NXT. But even still, the people you had on there were younger, and you made stars out of them. Don't blame what's happening to WWE, because I think that's what Vince McMahon is doing. He's looking for a place to blame. He's trying to blame NXT for the reason why people are not watching WWE no more. NXT has issues, but they ain't the main problem. The main problem is your show on Monday. The main problem is you. John Cena even said it. That's prime. That's how you know John Cena don't give a fuck no more.
So yeah, they ain't gonna fire him. So
John Cena just said, "Yo, you cannot." He said, if WWE keeps relying on its legends to come back, then its future looks very shaky. And he's right.
And he knows, because he just came back, so he know
exactly.
He also know what that welcome back check looked like, so he gonna keep doing it.
Like Cena is part of the problem also, but
No, I'm saying because he's saying is let them offer John Cena a SummerSlam match, and he'd be like, nah, I'm good. Let a younger guy get it. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's not happening at all. That's not happening at all.
Unless he got a movie in China or so. That's the only reason.
Exactly. But, but the Cenas and the Goldbergs, they try to keep bringing back these older people. And I'm like, yo, it's done. We don't want to. You can actually make newer stars, and you can make people to be in this generation. But Vince McMahon be stuck in his own way, and now he has to find somebody to beat up on and blame. And unfortunately,
it's like there's no reason why Shinsuke and Cesaro should not be higher than they are.
Yeah. And to be fair,
people like that.
To be fair, Apollo Crews, who changed his whole character around, and they book him like shit. You sometimes forget Apollo Crews is Intercontinental Champion.
Yep. And
he's been that since WrestleMania. And you probably forget that because of how he's been booked. When he came out as the Nigerian character, people was on the internet. It was like, okay, this thing is getting over. But then it was like, okay, it's getting over, but they did nothing with Apollo Crews to capitalize on it. And now to the point, I'm just like, yo, I'm not even going to sit there and say this is Apollo Crews' fault.
No, it's not, but I won't be surprised if they blame it on him and he gets future endeavored.
That's what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Future endeavor this man, it's a lot of other people that's wrong. So now it looks like the NXT that we know and love, the one that we fell in love with when it was like, yo, this is more than just developmental. It's gone. It's dying, and it's probably going to put their final nail in the coffin as soon as this month. To be completely honest with you, after we don't even know how Takeover 36 is going to be looking.
Yeah, because they said they're going to change the logo and all that.
And I'm like, okay, so they're going to change. They're going to go back to probably the developmental. So in other words, or this could be their excuse because it'll keep them in that CWC, which sucks. That's it kind of pisses me off. I'm like, yo, I can't imagine what Triple H is going through right now. And once again, I don't know if he had, some people say that he had part in the process of, firing and picking the people. But at the end of the day, look, no matter who you say is working with who, whatever the case may be, there's only one man that makes the decisions in WWE, and that is who? Vinny Mac. That's it. And if he just said, and I think he be in his feelings, AEW stomped on him. Everybody is leaving to go in AEW, and he's saying, well, NXT can't compete, and it's messing up my USA deal, so we're going to go back to the... I'm like, it doesn't matter. Vince is starting to run a little bit scared, kind of like he did in WCW. This is AEW's competition to fail. They have all the stuff in their hands right now, and if they fail this, that's on them. That's on them. But right now, there is a healthy alternative, especially when you have two shows. So now, imagine this Rampage show that comes on after Smackdown on Fridays. Imagine how the viewership can go for that. Imagine if it beats Smackdown and it comes on after.
Look, I'm just telling you right now, they're going to be in the United Center at an arena that WWE doesn't even go to, and they don't do what they're teasing. I don't think it'll go well with the audience reaction. I would just say that.
I would agree with you. Like it needs to happen on that show.
It has to be official, because if it's not, I mean, you might as well just throw the whole show away.
Look, you heard me say it. I said this is AEW's thing to lose. Mm-hmm. This is all them to lose. If they lose, that's on them. They fucked this thing up. But I'm like, but it's on them to lose, not nobody else. Not nobody else out there is some real shit. So, it's very unfortunate to see people lose their jobs. And like Bronson Reed, I can see him going to New Japan. I can see him going to Ring of Honor. And I can see him going to AEW. I want him to stay away from Impact.
Well, that's where he gonna show up at.
Probably so. But I want him.
It's what's the name he'll be? It's Colossus or something. I don't know.
It's Fat Man opposed to Thick Boy.
Yeah. Or that would just be his name, Thick Boy.
Or Bam Bam Bronson, or what I'm saying.
What is he doing in the Impact Zone?
Oh, it was Bronson Bigelow. He's the son of Bam Bam. Okay, it's so much shit that they can either toy with there, but it sucks that this is happening. It sucks that Vince is so damn naive of what's going on with the NXT brand. I'm like, people were saying, yo, don't tell him that the NXT UK even exists, because you know what? If he knew that, he'd probably get rid of him too. It's amazing how ignorant and headstrong this man is, that I don't even think now that Triple H is even going to get the company now.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Khan making most of the decisions.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all this stuff Triple H trying to do, I don't even think that he is even going to get the company. I really don't. I think it's probably going to go to Nick Khan. You probably sell to NBC Universal, and you never know. This could be the end of WWE, like, really soon. Like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know where it will go or wherever the case may be. So look, I hope all of them out there find jobs, but this stuff here is just very unfortunate for these superstars out there, especially as families. We about to go back and lock down anyway. People may not know it, but trust me, we are. Especially when the news just hit that we had 3,000 new kids affected. Kids we're talking about here. So Yeah, so they'll go back to that.
And I bet WWE gonna try their hardest to still have SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, just say WrestleMania 36. Last year, there's like, yo, we gonna wait till the very last time they said we can't have WrestleMania, and then we gonna tape it for the CWC, whatever the case may be.